can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bumps we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Amex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descended of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Blessed.
Crumb TV.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome, 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 welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Live. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. All right, and that song that you just heard right there, that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is Theta Waves. All right, from the Twin Pillars. That right there is Theta Waves from the Twin Pillars. All right. Shout out to Blue Pill. All right. Shout out to the family. Welcome everybody back on this good Saturn day. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, sir. All right. Let's go. Let's get it popping. We in the building and whatnot. Let's go. Let's get this show on the road. I don't want to keep nobody held up. I don't want to waste nobody's time. You dig? Let's get it in. So we got Memphis in the building. Shout out to Memphis in the building. We got Alabama in the building. Shout out to Alabama in there. All right. Shout out to Alabama. We got Thailand in the building. What's Thailand looking like these days? Talk black to me. Shout out to Thailand. Portland. All right. DMV, Detroit, Richmond. Got Charleston in the building. Flint is in the building. San Jose is in the building. North Carolina is in the building. Funky Town is in the building. Philly up in this thing. Trenton up in this thing. You got Philly. We got Delaware. We got New York. We got the Chi. We got San Jose, Greenville, DMV, Santa Rosa, Trenton, Iowa, Ireland, Harlem, Chi-Town, Newport News, Brooklyn in the building, Brooklyn. Minneapolis, we got Cleveland. You know what I mean? Cleveland. Oakland is in the building. Okay, NC is in the building. Shout out. Shout out to everybody, man. Austin is in the building. Barbados is in the building. Yes, sir. Austin, Barbados, LA. We got Phoenix. Shout out to the Phoenix family. Norfolk in the building. All right. Motor City. Yeah, man. We up in here deep, man. Shout out to everybody pulling up. Peace, love, and light to the family. Salute to everyone. I want to give a special shout out to I was outside earlier. Shout out to my bro. Blue was in the building. Shout out to H Factor. We're gonna let them know that the family wants that farming show. If y'all want me to bring the good brothers on to drop the information on how Blue Pill has monetized the quote unquote farming aspect of how to, the whole Facts Initiative was about the food, the art, the clothing, the tech. All right. I'm very proud of my bro because he has mastered the food part. Okay. He got it on lock right now. So shout out to Blue, shout out to the farming movement, shout out to H Factor, the whole crew. They was in the building today. I was at the brother Derek Grace. Derek Grace had an event in the ATL. I'm trying to pull a picture, but it's not popping up. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the building. They was at Spin City headquarters. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and before the night is over, I'm gonna play a commercial with me and Spin so we could put y'all on. So matter of fact, why even wait? Let me let y'all know what we got going on. If you are in the ATL, ladies and gentlemen, we have Tecmo Bowl, all right? Techno Bowl. And that is Techno Tuesdays IRL. It is our anniversary event. We have 1 year locked in, 52 episodes, our annual 1 year event, Techno Bowl. We're going to have it at Spin City headquarters. That is this Tuesday, March the 10th. If you're in Atlanta or the surrounding areas, we definitely want you to come through. It's going to be like a mini hackathon. We're going to be showing people how to utilize Claude Code, Claude Bot, agentic AI. It's going to be a lot of demos and whatnot. So if you know, you know. That will be on Tuesday. Spread the word. Okay. Spread the word. Techno Bowl from the hours of 7 p.m. to 10. From 7 p.m. to 10. Okay. So, yes, sir. Okay. You just ordered the tea from Blue. Okay. Shout out to everybody that's been getting the sea moss jelly. The V-Cell sea moss. I've been getting a good feedback from the family over there. Now we also have new products in our product line: gummy mushrooms and gummy shilajit. Right, we got the gummy shilajit from the Himalayas, and we have gummies in mushroom form. We talking about lion's mane and stuff like that. Nootropics, not what they call psilocybin. That's not what we are talking about. To go along with the sea moss gel. So shout out to everybody. And we also are offering affiliate positions as well. So y'all tap in with me for that affiliate. Okay. What else? Okay, shout out to everybody in the Imaginarium. We had Imaginarium vibe coding today. That was fire. Shout out to everybody in the building for the Imaginarium, blueprints in the planetarium. We had a lot of we was doing our thing today in our vibe session and whatnot. And then yesterday for session number 5 for the workshop, right? That was powerful. That was very, very uplifting. I'm very proud of what we over there doing in the Imaginarium. Okay. Yes, sir. So as we move forward. let us get into the show. As you know, we clip heavy. We clipped up right now. You know what I'm talking about? We got clips for days. There's so much things going on right now. So we are going to we're gonna dive right in. I ain't even gonna hold you. Okay. Yes, every session is fire. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You know what I mean? Imaginarium, we are making history. History, I tell you. History. All right, let's see. Okay, so might as well open this up with Brosie O'Donnell. There's a lot of talk going on right now in the financial markets, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of rumblings going on right now in the financial markets, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of, it's only been about almost 1 week into the war, because you know the 28th, February the 28th, the fire horse apocalypse, right? The fire horse apocalypse is when this war started. This apocalyptic war, yeah, this apocalyptic war, right, started on quote unquote the 28th. Always remember that date, right? So we're almost going to touch the 7-day mark tomorrow and whatnot. And it's already being called not only an apocalyptic war, but it's being called the war of all wars. They're saying that this is the one, right? They're calling this the one right here. They're saying that this is the biblical war that all religions have written about. We're in the movie and whatnot. So it didn't even take but 7 days, and BlackRock is already getting shaky at the knees and whatnot. Okay, so they blocking withdrawals. We talking about a $14 trillion giant that's blocking withdrawals. They're capping that shit. Okay, so let Brosie talk to us about what's happening, and then let us continue.
Biggest asset manager, $26 billion fund. People ask for their money back. BlackRock said, you get 5%, the rest stays. And there's a lie circulating about Bitcoin that breaks the whole story open. Comment scroll when you catch it. Here's what happened. Investors wanted out, 9.3%. BlackRock capped it at 5%. That's $1.2 billion locked in. Same week, Blackstone did the same. $82 billion fund, record withdrawals, had to inject $400 million of their own cash to stay alive. This isn't one fund choking. This is the whole shadow banking system taking its first breath underwater. You see the posts claiming BlackRock's dumping Bitcoin to cover this? That's the lie. Different fund, different rules. Feels true because your nervous system wants a villain with a face. Comment scroll when you actually see who's getting trapped. 3 months ago, BlackRock marked a loan at 100 cents on the dollar. Full value. Last week, zero. Worthless. $25 million to Infinite Commerce, some Amazon aggregator, evaporated overnight. They didn't sell it. They didn't lose it. They just admitted it was never worth what they said. Private credit means no market price, just internal estimates. Fiction dressed as finance. The gap between what they told you it was worth and what it's actually worth, that's not a loss. That's a revelation. Comment scroll. Get your scroll scan. Close the loop. Like the gates are not broken. They're working exactly as designed. You thought you owned something liquid. You own a promise that locks when you need it most. Comment scroll when you feel the architecture beneath the story. They call it gating. Sounds technical. Neutral. It's not protection. It's triage. The healthy investors get shielded from the sick fund. But everyone's in the same body. 2022 rate hikes broke the model. Cheap money kept the fiction alive. Now the math demands payment and the money is not moving. While what survives? Not the return, the recognition. Liquidity isn't a bug in the system. It's the foundation. You were always the exit liquidity for someone else's exit. Comment scroll. Get your scan. Remember what you knew before they sold you the promise.
Yo, take a shot every time she says comment scroll. The wheatgrass, of course, or the mocktail. Yo,
Biggest Brosie
O'Donnell is a master class. Brosie O'Donnell is a master class in branding and marketing. Comment scroll. She's not gonna forget that. She's not breaking character. And she's going to give you some shit that's sounding like it's coming from Captain's log. Okay. Bros is a masterclass. This what I'm gonna do. All right, let me ask y'all because this is a thought that hit me and whatnot. Cause I'm about giving back. I am not no type of leech. You know, you already know. We gotta give back. I want to bring Brosy O'Donnell on the show one day, and we basically, you know what I'm saying? It's like the Kwanzaa crawl and whatnot. We gotta go and get the fucking scroll. We're gonna have to do like a you know, I want to do that with Chocolate Godiva too. I want to bring Chocolate Godiva on because I think Chocolate Godiva has a GoFundMe for her website, and I want her to pull up, and I want us to show her love collectively. Because what I was gonna do, I was gonna say, all right, boom, I got $1,000 and let the audience match it, and then I'll go to one of their cash apps and drop a bag on them and then show the receipts. But I don't even want to do it like that because I don't even, you know what I mean? I'm good on that, right? What I would rather do is just bring them on a platform and basically, you know what I mean, make it rain. You know, I'm just saying figuratively, you know, but we still, you know what I mean? Everybody's a part of the culture. Let's be clear. So they know what the rain shower is about. You know what I mean? There's this whole thing going on right now in Atlanta. I gotta go and get D1's video because they have this thing where the Atlanta Hawks have partnered with Magic City Mondays to be exact. So Magic City, the same place by the Greyhound where there's an open air trap. Remember, I was doing Melanin Mondays at a podcast studio right across the street from Magic City 2 years from 2 years ago, right? There was there was a horse trap. There was a heroin trap right there by the car wash, and they was pimping outside. And Magic City, you know, is Magic City. So the brother D1 said something about it, and then a whole bunch of people started attacking him online. Like, yo, Magic City is a staple. Like, how could you say that? This is black excellence. I'm like, wow, okay. It was worse than I thought it was. You know what I'm talking about? So people are really cool. And I'm once again, I ain't no hater, but we gotta straighten some things out. So if they making it rain, dollar bills, I'm talking about they've been putting these girls through college for like 30 years, 40 years out here. And they making it rain on these women for that behavior. Why don't we make it rain on these women who are putting on, right? Because this is not an easy thing. We was on Brother Rich's show, 363 Empire, right? Come on, Brosy, let me take you down. I'm gonna get with you, Brosy. We're gonna get with Brosy and whatnot. We was on Father Rich, 363 Empire, and there was the panel of the legends, right? And I've explained what the significance of that panel really meant. Like, that was a very important moment in the history because, once again, ye are rich. People don't even understand how rich the story about what exactly took place in Harlem, New York City, right? In the years, not just 1 year, not just 2 year, about a 30-year run, right in front of what they call the Mart 125th, right? And when you go and watch the documentary on the Mart 125th, the Mart 125th is a staple in Harlem's history because that is where they had a actual mall and whatnot set up, and the city shut it down when they started to sell when they started to sell out Harlem to like the Clintons and whatnot. That was one of the first things that took a hit. Okay. And as a result of it taking a hit, it never recovered. And they put all of the vendors out in the streets and whatnot. Fast forward, we those vendors that's in the street. We become those vendors that are in the street. I come later and whatnot, but we become those vendors that are in the street, standing directly in front of a historic black supermall that Giuliani and all of these sharks and these sellouts shut down, right? So Sarnetta was set up in front of that, and he put up what is like a spectacle, right? You couldn't not see it, right? It was flags, it was red, black, and green. And when I say spectacle, it's not a bad thing. I'm saying spectacle because when you're in Harlem, it's showtime, right? It's showtime. You got to put on a show. You're in Harlem on a corridor of what is called the most, you could Google this too, the most busiest foot traffic corridor, right? In a shopping district on the planet. Not in New York, not on the East Coast, on the planet, yo. Go and blow your mind. Do the research. It has the most foot traffic in a commercial square, not just the most foot traffic, the most money. Let me bring that back. Not the most foot traffic. It's the most financially. It beat Herald Square, 42nd Street, and everything. That corridor from river to river. So it's showtime at the Apollo. You got to put on. Sarnetta had the lynching pictures in front of the whole entire Mart 125th. And then Dr. Felder had all of the other pictures of African ancestry because he was a heavy Pan-African. So it was proliferated with imagery and motifs of Africa, Pan-Africanism, all of the symbols and signs and the heroes. And then Sarnetta had all of the lynchings, right? The lynchings. I'm talking about the lynchings were not covered up. When y'all go back and y'all watch when y'all go back and watch the classic videos, if you go down memory lane, I'm telling people the old videos, go and watch my old shit from 2010, from 2015, from 2018. Those videos have more information inside of them than most of the videos that you'll see on YouTube right now. Facts. Okay. The combination of KTL and HOK, legendary run right there. Undeniable. That's the golden era of consciousness, 2014 leading up to like 2018. And then prior to that, we had a YouTube run from 2007 to about 10, the beginning of it. And we were putting on and also with the motifs on the walls, the slave pictures on the wall, the lynching pictures, and then the Pan-African, and then right there is a table with a whole bevy of shirts, and all of them have Kemetic symbolism. So the King Tuts, the Tehuttis, the Ampu, right, the Herukuti and whatnot, standing on a crocodile. I had all of that on my clothing and whatnot. I was showing black pharaohs and shit like that before anybody was doing this. To the point where Fader magazine came all the way to Harlem and called me the new, what do they call that? Dapper Dan, right? It was a hit. So I was like, nah, I can't do this slave picture. You know, these lynchings, this shit was getting to me, subconsciously. I had a nightmare one night. I was like, yeah, that's a lot of heavy trauma. The energy was very heavy because of what the pictures represent. What the energy of the pictures is a heavy guilt energy. Everybody that walked past the lynching pictures were either going to give it they were going to ignore it, they were going to acknowledge it, they were going to give it some type of guilt energy. It was a little bit of trauma bonding. Okay. Not a lot of people was able to give the type of I ain't gonna say not a lot of people, but the right people were able to transmute that energy. Those, in my humble opinion, were the alchemists who I was privileged to meet on so many occasions. There's so many people that I met that never got on camera. There's so many people that I met out there that you'll never see again ever in life. Me either. There's so many people that passed through that you couldn't even get the camera to press record quick enough. So the shit that we was able to catch on camera was important. But I say all of that to say, when we had that panel up there and it was a bunch of men, right? It was Black Dot, it was Brother Rich, it was Brother Chris, who we used to call Christ, who you wouldn't even know who he is because he was completely incognito, right? It was a lot of people who are incognito, clandestine. They didn't want to be in front of the camera. That panel that you saw on 363 Empire, that would be considered like the record label. That would be considered the managerial. The managerial is not in front of the camera. The talent is in front of the camera. So the majority of the people around the world got to meet the talent. You met Polite. Polite is the talent. He's not managerial. He's not the one who was moving and shaking. He got with King Simon, who was the managerial, right? You get to all of the people that you saw in front of those cameras, that was the talent. But what we brought in front of the people was the managerial, which is basically the foundation. It's the blueprint. It's the, if without them, there is no Phil Valentine, there is no Bobby and all of that. You don't know, you won't get to, you wouldn't know none of these people. That's the importance of that panel that you saw and who those people are. Nobody was trying to be on camera, you know what I'm saying? But me and Sarnetta and then a few other people. I was managerial. I was not talent. I didn't start out as talent. That's what people don't understand. What KTL meant in the beginning. I was behind the scenes putting shit together. I was not on film like that. We were putting other people on film in front of the camera and putting other people on. Our role, Red and Blue Pill came before me doing the managerial work. So we're talking about foundation. We're talking about we're talking about the mycelium network. We're talking about the hand that made things happen when there was no camera on. Even to be in front of the camera, you had to be a special kind of person because the camera is not for everybody. As you can see, fast forward in 2026, how many people did y'all see the camera destroy? How many people got in front of the camera and destroyed themselves, for that matter? How many people got in front of the camera and the camera just exposed something to the world that was already there, right? How many people you saw got in front of the camera and they whole ego, they became super ego and they went into what is known as delusions of grandeur? The camera's catching bodies. Now the camera went from catching bodies on 125th Street to basically that shit went serial killer and whatnot and start catching bodies and everywhere. There's corridors and corners of YouTube stacked up with bodies like the movie 300. 300! You know those dirty streets on YouTube, the back streets and whatnot? There's bodies in them corners. Niggas get on that Hennessy. They get on that Fetty Wap and get on camera, be sweating profusely and just talking out the side of their mouth, out the side of their necks and whatnot. Man, it's mass kill-offs all over YouTube. The cameras out here catching bodies. And then the camera, they put the camera on the women and whatnot. That would be like the Instagram, Snapchat type of era and whatnot. Man, it went crazy. Oh yeah, there's a whole segment tonight. We're going to get into some stuff like that. But first, let's get this World War III shit. I mean, let's get this the war report out the way. Let's get right to it. Let's get right to it. So we don't even have to waste no time. You know? Shit is out here looking spooky. But here's a little bit of updates.
Is taking a bloody good hiding. But you don't know it. You don't know it for two reasons. First of all, anybody releasing a picture or video of the damage in Tel Aviv is immediately sentenced to 5 years in prison.
Did you hear that? I just want you to let that settle in for a minute because so many people don't understand what the hell is going on right in front of their very own eyes because they're so consumed by this escapism. Listen, not to say that this is going to happen in America, but this is going to happen in America. If you post footage of this spot getting torched, they hitting that shit like Transformers movie. If you show signs of them people getting their ass whooped. When you talk about fragility, this is a new level of fragility. This is a new heights of fragility. You're so fragile that you won't even get on camera after the fight. You're so fragile. Your fragility is so crazy that you sending people to jail for 5 years if they post footage of the ass whooping that's taking place right now. If you show footage, but it wasn't a problem when y'all was basically boosting the footage of the dead children out of Gaza or Gaza. It wasn't a problem then because y'all were behind boosting those videos. Y'all proliferated people's timelines with all of this carnage and all of these quote unquote snuff films. Let's not even talk about what y'all put on the dark web. Let's not just talk about what y'all put on places like Rumble and 4chan and 8chan. Let's not talk about all of those rooms that they built out. But you cannot show the get back, the lick back, the Armageddon, the quote unquote, you know, the fingerprints of an Armageddon. You can't show the karma. Right? You can't show the carnage. You can't show the karma. You can't show the dharma. They don't want nobody to see them getting their shit bust.
And secondly, because the mass media, CNN, BBC, Sky News, have accepted Israeli censorship and are therefore not broadcasting the footage that they have taken over a Tel Aviv that now looks like Gaza. How do I know that? Because I've got friends in Tel Aviv. Sheinkin Street, Tel Aviv. Near Dizengoff Square, Tel Aviv. And they've been walking around, and it's they who tell me from their own mouth that Tel Aviv now looks like Gaza. How could it not? Because the air defenses over Tel Aviv are no longer operational. The Iranians are hitting at will with the most powerful ballistic missiles. 50 ballistic missiles hit Tel Aviv last evening alone. They're also lying to you about the number of American casualties. How can all these CIA bases, all these American embassies, all these foreign bases of the United States, how can they all have been hit and destroyed with only 4 dead Americans? I'm going to take a flyer, and it's this. There are approaching 1,000 dead Americans, and they can't be hidden forever.
They done got put out by the ex. They ain't got nowhere to go. It's looking real sad. Because dating in 2026, this video is about dating in 2026. So act like you got some sense in the comments, okay? Because
listen, you gotta you gotta love it. Oh man, this shit is journalism at its finest. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, y'all censoring shit. Oh, niggas is getting 5 years. Switch it out.
the stuff that I'm about to show you, I don't think they wanted you to see this, okay? So let's act like we got some sense. Let's comment about dating in 2026. And yeah, listen, they don't want you to know that this is happening over in Not Real. Oh, you get what I'm saying? Because dating in 2026 is not going well for them. It's going really badly. I really don't think they want you to know that they too are sleeping in tents right now. You know, they done got put out by the ex. They ain't got nowhere to go. It's looking real sad. Because dating in 2026, it's not good, fam. It's not good. And that's just some of the damage that I saw from the breakup. You know, the aftermath is not going well. And that was in the last 24 to 48 hours, just so we're clear. And I got the date right there. So shit's not looking good, you know?
Shit's not looking good, you know. Let's continue.
Logical commentaries in the Zohar.
Stewie, the current
Not yet. Y'all going. They cooking too. Let's Let's go to Donnie. Let's go to Donnie, see what he got to say.
And sisters, I'm here to tell you my easy 10-step plan to create peace in the Middle East. Step 1, pull us out of a deal that gave America a full overview of their nuclear capabilities, create massive amounts of distrust, set U.S.-Iranian relations back 40 years, wait 8 years, ignore every single advisor from nearly every Western country that said there is no credible evidence they will ever have a bomb in our lifetimes. Bomb them and claim you utterly obliterated their nuclear program.
Fake negotiations for no reason other than to dick around.
Bomb them anyway because Israel has blackmail on you, and claim you've utterly destroyed their nuclear program, even though it was utterly destroyed before. But now it's utterly destroyed again.
Bomb a bunch of children.
Ignore their offer of surrender and bomb them more.
Never stop bombing them.
Because you're scared.
Everyone is gonna know what they already know about the awful things you did to kids.
Lock America into the exact never-ending war you claimed you were gonna stop.
Israel has the tape. The tape. Bomb them. Has the tape. The tape. Bomb them, bomb the children. Abuse them, and make a profit while you do it. Make a profit while you do it. Bomb the children. Make a profit while you do it. Make a profit while you do it. Make a profit while you do it. Bomb the children. Make a profit. The children while you do it. The children while you do it.
Boom. See how people are using the AI though? When they trying to say, oh, AI this or AI that, and niggas is making cat videos and whatnot. There's a new way or a new angle or just a new quote unquote medium in which to tell a story. We're storytellers, right? Okay, we're the more intelligent ones, correct? So our commentary should reflect that. And I'm here to let you know that the tools are available to make shit like this happen, you know, to get your story across, because something like this is going to have a far-reaching effect than you just uploading a motherfucking story or you know what I mean? You know, I'm just saying. We got to be creative. People are out here being creative with shit. Okay?
Toward Israel feels less like a series of geopolitical errors. Stewie, the current global hostility toward Israel feels less like a series of geopolitical errors and more like a tactical requirement being fulfilled to close a specific historical loop.
It is a chillingly precise application of strategic isolation. According to eschatological commentaries in the Zohar, the Redeemer arrives only when the holy remnant is completely abandoned by the nations of the world.
So the blatant displays of dominance, what we've called the notice me phase, serve a higher purpose. They are provoking the exact global animosity required to satisfy the Zechariah 14 prophecy, where all nations gather against Jerusalem.
We're seeing it manifest in real time. Recent ICJ rulings and the unprecedented level of UN isolation aren't failures. They are the Hevle Mashiach, the birth pangs of the Messiah, engineered through digital and physical provocation.
It's a masterclass in Ita Ishana, accelerating the end through human agency. By fueling the hatred of the masses, they create a vacuum that can only be filled by a supernatural intervention.
Remember, when you're seeing this, apply this fact or apply this quote-unquote lens in which to look through. Whenever you're seeing these provocations, whenever you're seeing what everybody, oh, false flag, oh, understand whatever people may say, cool, whatever. When you look at it through the lens of the fact that they are accelerating a narrative, right? They are single-handedly doing what they're doing and committing these atrocities in the open, right? Releasing certain files, turning people against them on purpose to fulfill a prophecy. So even when people feel like they're throwing hate at them, they're still being energy harvested. Okay. That's why hating something is not going to do anything for you. You're just getting caught up in a trap. You are being harvested. You're being cooked up. You know, when you observe, you know how to remove all of those emotions. Okay. And you could go ahead and teach people so you could help them see and make sense of what it is that they're saying, because there's so many opinions out there and everybody has a voice. So everybody has a platform and everybody has a stage in which to stand on. Just imagine what we were going up against when we were in Harlem, right? We imagine the people that had to compete for the microphone just on HOK, just on Sinetta TV, right? Just imagine the like when an incident occurred, Sinetta would set up the tripod and people will come on, pull up to, they will pull up to 2/5. They will pop out. They might come from Philly. You know what I mean? You might have a Ali Muhammad pull up. They might be Shabazz, brother Shabazz, from the Nation of Islam. I mean, from the Gods in the Earth. He might pop up out of nowhere wanting to talk about it. Brother Professor Larry might walk down the block. He might say, I want to talk about this situation. I want to address this topic. Now multiply that by 1,000x, right? Or 100,000x. Real talk, think about it. Multiply that by 100,000x. That's the amount of people that are having an opinion, that are literally like stopping to say, I want to talk about what I'm seeing from my point of view. Now, there's this saying that, everybody has some truth in what it is that they're saying. You know what I mean? There has to be an ounce of truth in every fucking lie or everything that someone is saying. A broken clock is right twice a day. But when you have so many different opinions and so many different people talking, and it turns into noise. It turns into noise. So what we want to do is just bring more of a signal to the fam. And I'm not saying that this is the only thing that's going on, because many things could be true at the same time. There's a lot of shit taking place. It's multi-levels of it. It's not just one thing going on. We're in the quantum quickening. This shit is like layers on layers. There's about 4 to 5 different scripts running congruently at the same time. However, I can successfully say that I could see the eschatology play. I could see the end times play going down. Yes, it is layered like a layer cake, but I could definitely see the end times play going down, right? So if Americans start burning the ball effigy, is it real gonna bomb us too? I highly doubt it. The ball being burnt in Persia or Iran is a little bit different than ball being burnt over here. Baal and them are worshipped over here. This is the home of Baal. This is kind of like, this is Babylon. You know what I mean? So burning Baal and Babylon, burning an effigy of Baal in Babylon, I don't think it has the same kind of hit than them burning those balls in Iran. So yeah. So back to that conversation with the panel that we had on Sinetta TV. Somebody in the audience had asked, where are the women at, right? Assuming that maybe women were being excluded from the conversation, or for somehow women were being overlooked when we were talking about the creators of this community. Well, what has to be acknowledged, of course, definitely, is that every brother that was on that panel had a woman in their life at some time when it is that they were doing what it is that they were doing. When everybody was doing their thing, they were being supported by, and they were being nurtured by, and they were being consulted by, and they were being supported by their better halves or their counterparts. But when it comes to and then there's the legendary Sister Burke, who had a show, and she had a platform, and she had a public access show, and she was actually the progenitor. She's the first in the race. So she's the one that opened up the door. So she's the oracle. So she's Sophia. So she's the one who blessed the quote unquote creation. She planted the seed, and it was her energy and what she wanted to see these teachers and their lessons and their influence grow and expand and touch people. And then different generations came after her to carry the quote unquote legacy on, and they set it up. So sometimes the queen is unseen, sometimes the queen is behind the scenes. In this game of chess, the queen is not always put out in the front, but always know that the power, she's there to support her king. She's there to make things happen. She's there to to make everything work the way that it worked and whatnot. But where if there was a woman that was standing out there, setting up the lectures, setting up the cameras, and doing all of that, no, that did not happen. Was there somebody that was standing out there for 20 years with us? Because I was in Harlem for about 20 years, from 2005 to 2020, 15 years. No, there wasn't nobody that tapped in every single day with us, like how they would tap into corporate America. There wasn't, I can't say that there was a woman, a name, or a group of women who was out there every single day, rain, sleet, or snow. There were African women, they were out there selling things. Then there was another sister, a matriarch, who took care of all of us on 125th Street, right? She was a mother figure. She was there to hold it down. She was a RBG. But when it comes to like, was there somebody every day setting up a table, setting up racks, or setting up lectures, making sure Bobby Hemmick gets his money? All right, I want to feed Bobby. I want to feed Phil. I want to feed Delbert. I want to feed the people. I don't know. I can't say a name per se. I can't necessarily drop names on you, but there are women who were part of the talent, right? There's Roz Mariah Bay. And no, Roz Mariah Bay is not the talent. Roz Mariah Bay is managerial. Roz Mariah Bay is one of the closest that comes to setting up, because without Roz Mariah Bay, right? Now that's another, okay, now hey, all right, cool. Now boom. All right, so Roz Mariah Bay, she's the one, and Sister Anna E. These were they were the proprietors of what we would call the Wednesday class in Harlem. The Wednesday class in Harlem was the Moorish class. The Moorish class that was in Harlem at one time was the biggest thing going on in New York City consciousness around 2008. That there was a class that I went in one night, and it was standing room only. And I believe it was True Master had just came back from Germany. He did he was doing a lecture on the Bavarian Moors. It was Isaiah the Duke of Tears in the building. It was Shyam the Liberator in the building. It was Sabir Bey in the building. It was Hakeem Bey in the building. It was Red and Blue in the building. It was so many Moors in that building that day. The shit looked like the Avengers. Okay? It looked like the Avengers, right? And I was like, wow. And Taj Tariq Bey was another part of what Sister Roz Mariah Bey was doing. I'm saying consistently. She would not miss a Wednesday, rain, sleet, or snow. She was there teaching civics, heritage, There's a lot of things that people are running with right now. This is the work of Sister Rosmariah Bey. Then, of course, we have Valhara Bey. Then, of course, we have Sister Myra L. Not Sister Myra that people know this on Black Magic 363. Sister Myra L., who was a Moorish teacher. She was from back in the day. She was holding things down. Okay. But I would have, I would have loved to say that was the case, but that wasn't the case. The closest was everybody's counterparts who were the ones supporting their men, who were out there, rain, sleet, or snow, when nobody was when it was frowned upon to have the audacity to work for yourself. You niggas don't have jobs. Y'all are bums and whatnot. Y'all are giving up city jobs. Y'all are giving up 9 to 5s. Y'all are giving up that white man's check. Y'all are giving up your 401k. Y'all are giving up safe money. Y'all are giving up a quote unquote a buyout to do what? To give money to these men who read books and these women that want to teach people about curing AIDS, curing herpes, curing cancer. Nah. Y'all go and work that job. That's what they were telling some of the managerials, the ones, the godfathers of this, the foundations of this, the ones who built the framework of this. That's what people were telling them, trying to discourage them for even taking care of our people, for being the quote unquote conduits for the information, for being the John the Baptist, for being the bullhorns to tell the people, shouting from bullhorns and soapboxes to tell the people who the messiahs are. Because that's what some of these people were doing. They were yelling to the people, yo, I found one of the Blackamoor messiahs. I found a messiah. Hear him roar, right? That's what you had to do when you were promoting one of the new teachers. You literally had to stand out there and convince people this man has messianic energy. This man is for the people. This man has a message that everybody needs to hear. And then they would be like, all right, let me get that. Let me hear who that person is. Let me try him out. Let me check him out. There was so much that went into building out this community. I'm so glad that the story is going to be told from a perspective, from an intellectual standpoint. And I would have rather no time than the story be told than this time. It wouldn't have fit in any other time, but right now, when this shit has exploded like a nuclear bomb, where we got Chocolate Godiva, we got a sister, a beautiful chocolate queen. You know what I'm talking about? With her braces and whatnot. You know what I mean? She could be talking about a bunch of tomfoolery. She could be talking about the Kardashians. She could be talking about Nicki Minaj and what Cardi is rapping about, and Meg Thee Stallion twerking in an anime. But she's up here dropping information that's smoking any one of these world correspondents. She's smoking every single journalist on cable TV right now, just with her 9-minute segments. She's murking them. Nobody could even hold a flame to Shorty, to Chocolate Godiva. People could say what they want to say about Broski O'Donnell's, but your boy, I'm mature. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not biased against no type of information. Astaghfirullah. You know what I'm talking about? I'm 50 years old. I ain't biased against no information. She dropping bombs on niggas. I don't know men that are that consistent. Okay? I don't know people that consistent. She on top of everything. Whatever AI she using, boy, that shit she's cooking with them scrolls. This is an experience that we are all collectively having, navigating through the world of journalism from different perspectives. You understand? Being able to see things through a clearer lens. It just hits differently when the information is coming from all of these different angles and whatnot. However, it's you know what the caveat of the whole thing is. Oh, Zaza's cooking right now. Yeah, shout out to Zaza. The whole caveat of what it is that I'm exposing everybody to by showing you videos of people from every single nationality. What are they doing? Repeating information. That's what they're doing. They're repeating information that I know that I heard about 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. This is a regurgitation, and I'm not accusing them of plagiarism because I wouldn't platform a plagiarizer. They're getting the download. This is one what is called a full circle moment. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? This is a full circle moment because in the Facebook days, in the MySpace days, in the Blog Talk era days, if that type of content existed, shit would even move different back then. Okay? But the foundation was laid so many years ago. So all of this you don't frown on the TikTok shit. You just say that y'all are adding value to what it is that we have already done. Ye are rich. I'm trying to explain to people that the data is the gold. Fuck running behind the crypto. Fuck running behind gold coins and gold bars, nigga. Your data is the gold. What are you talking about? If you already made the data, my G, you don't gotta make nothing new. Your data is the gold. Fuck you mean? If you could prove that you was about that life when it really meant something, if your information is metadated, if you have proof of work that you was putting in work before putting in work was a thing, my nigga, you can monetize that. You have wealth. You have value. You better cash that check. Don't let these people trick you out of your bag, okay? Because they've been tricking a lot of people over the decades, okay? Niggas don't know their worth, and they don't know the game that they're in. You don't even know every single show on YouTube, right? Every time I open my mouth, my nigga, that is a publishing check. What are you talking about? You know what this voice, you know how valuable this voice is? Nigga, this shit is on tracks and everything. You understand me? My value is when I'm not here anymore. Nigga, that's the real fucking payout. You just got to understand who you are. You got to understand your worth. You got to understand the work you put in, and you have to put everything in order for that shit to really do what it's supposed to do. I'm playing a long game. You understand? It's a marathon. I keep telling you. You know what I mean? It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. I've been watching niggas doing the 100-yard dash in the sprint my whole career. Okay? What's up with, you know what I mean? Everybody don't have those kangaroo legs on them. Niggas they don't have ostrich legs. Okay? You can't shoot your load in this game. You can't burn yourself out in this bitch. You can't go ahead and try to outrace and outpace and not be steady in the motherfucking movement. I don't yearn to be in some of the places that some of the people who jumped in those places or jumped on those sofas or jumped in those seats and whatnot, thinking that was a fucking throne. Know what I'm saying? And it was the equivalent of the movie The Oz when they sat on the throne and it turned into a toilet bowl. Niggas jumped on Vlad's couch. That was a toilet bowl. That was a burning couch. I fear that I integrated my people into a burning couch. Nigga, you niggas ran to Charlemagne to give him game? And now look at him. $200 million in, and he cooked you niggas. All of you fake conscious woke niggas that ran to the Breakfast Club and gave him your sauce, and you don't got it no more. I bet you that nigga didn't even send Michael no commissary. You know? Took your audience, right? Took your audience and kicked you niggas to the curb. You know what I'm talking about? And then ran with your swag, ran with your bag, and ran with your cloth. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I watched these niggas clone all of these fake woke niggas and all of these conscious these fucking cheek clappers, you know what I mean, who ran off and whored out the consciousness. Y'all didn't get no permission slips. That's what I'm talking about, the hand biters. They didn't even get no permission slips. They ran to these niggas and didn't even get no counsel. Only for Vlad TV to turn around and say, yeah, I don't even fuck with them conscious niggas. I don't bring them on my platform. They dusty. Right? Turned your whole shit up. When it was happening, right? When it was happening, the entire every single platform elevated, water rises to its highest heights. Them niggas, if these were stocks, every time somebody conscious got on Vlad TV and the Breakfast Club, they shot the fucking stocks through the roof. Them niggas they had peaks in their stocks. Their stocks did not fall. It went through the roof. They inherited an audience that should have never, ever even watched their videos, bro. Shouldn't even be paying attention to goddamn Charlemagne and DJ Envy and whoever else was over there. It shouldn't have been paying attention to Vladimir and whatnot. They blew them up. And still playing dumb to this day. To this day, these niggas are still playing willfully ignorant, playing games, throwing niggas around because they know that niggas clap cheeks for fame, Leroy. And if somebody could get dangled around for fame, they gonna play with you. And they've been playing with people ever since. So I don't even really want to talk about none of this. Like, I think a lot of people got this shit screwed up. They think that being conscious is being popular. Like, you supposed to be a popular nigga. Like, you supposed to be a household name. You niggas want to be the new Malcolm X or something. Remember the nigga came and said, I'm the new Malcolm X. Jay Morrison. And y'all ran with that. Y'all let anybody get up here and say anything. That's why I'm more about going back in the DeLorean to a time where this don't even make sense. There's nothing to win in this shit right now. There's no trophy in this shit. The only trophy is to prove that you was the one that started it. That's the real trophy. Because this shit right here, what are we doing all of this? What's being done? What did the financial niggas do? What did all of the credit niggas, what did the credit gurus build since 2020? What did anybody do? Like, what's being done? What has happened? Like what movements could we point to? Because niggas they was hooked on Black Lives Matter and we ain't seen them since. What movements could we point to other than the movement that was started to wake niggas up, smack them out of their sleep? You know what I'm talking about? Violently pour hot water on them. That's what them early days was with the and I don't even like saying YouTube because it's bigger than YouTube. It goes before YouTube. It's the VHS era, then the DVD era, then the Blog Talk era, then the YouTube in the YouTube era. So something's got to give as we're in the Armageddon. Something has got to give. You just got to understand what part you play in this whole entire script, from the macro to the micro. And just make sure that, moving forward, you do everything in your power, right? Especially all of y'all that are on the path. Do everything in your power to document your path. Do everything in your power to document your growth and development. That's the best story that you have going for you right now. Your transformation. That's the greatest story never told. That's the greatest story never told, your hero's journey. And if you're able, if you're a storyteller, if you're a griot, if you have an imagination, you could turn your story into a myth. You could turn your story into what they call the mythos. And if you could transform your story into the mythos, you'll never go hungry. You'll never have anything to worry about, because it's not even a monetary thing. It's a spiritual thing. You're going to tell the story of your bloodline. You're going to tell the story by you telling your story. You tell your ancestor story. You become a part of immortality. You have a better chance at immortality than if your ass stay quiet and ain't tell no fucking story. Your ass will get forgotten about. How many people are being forgotten about every day on your timeline? Niggas is putting prayer emojis up and they on to the next. Let's get on to this sexy red song. Let's move on to some shit to distract us. You know? Let's do some shit to distract us. Niggas are trying to get distracted so they can forget about you because it's too much to remember. So do your big one. That's why we got Imaginarium. We are assisting brothers and sisters and tapping into their imagination, their imagination, so they could do what? So they could tell their stories through the what? Through the fantasy complex industry. And what type of story? About the food, the art, the clothes, the technology, the shelter, the facts of life. And what else? Well, if they see themselves through the lens of a Blackamoor Messiah, then they could talk about the fear of the Blackamoor Messiah, because anybody that's moving through this bitch as a Messiah, you know that there is fear. You induce fear in the people who fronting like they the Messiah. I don't know why. It just happens like that. You know? It just happens like that. They feel uncomfortable around you and whatnot. And when you really look at it, there's a protracted operation to take out the messiahs. Nobody can tell me that some of these rappers who were messianic were not knocked off by them peoples and whatnot. And we see how they work through our people now. So the people that we would praise as killers, there's nothing that's telling me that a killer never took an envelope from the CIA and knocked a nigga off for the CIA. You can't convince me. These are mercenaries. Niggas are mercenaries. You know what I'm talking about? You gotta, it takes some time. You take a few times behind the wall, you see the true nature. Niggas are mercenaries. There's nothing in my bones that has me believing that these people ain't working with them people. The mafia was working with them people, and niggas work for the mafia. The cartel working with them people. Shower Posse working with them people. What do you mean? So you're not gonna tell me that the red and the blue is not working with not the red and the blue pillar, but you're gonna tell me that the gangs are not working with them people? Nigga, Lucky Luciano was working with them people. What are you talking about? Bugsy Siegel and them niggas was working with the people. They was working with they was working with Gay Edgar Hoover, the big dog, the equivalent of a Cash Patel. Niggas working with Cash Patel. Niggas is working with Cash Patel, Cash Money and Cash Patel. Yeah, they working with them people. You know what I'm talking about? Fuck out of here. You got Trump parting the niggas, bailing niggas out. You know what I mean? They're letting niggas loose the same way that they let Lucky Luciano loose, Project Underworld, to spread more of that mafia style terror. You know what I mean? They're letting these gremlin niggas loose to continue to spread terror. The same way that they fund the jihad niggas, the same way that they fund the rebel niggas. The rebels niggas in America are the drug dealers, the gangbangers, and these goofy ass niggas. Those are the rebels. And they even identify them outside of the states when they tell the stories. They'll call them certain names like that. You know what I'm saying? But they're arming the rebels. Yeah, they're arming the rebels, my nigga. They're creating they're destabilizing. They're becoming settlers. They're destabilizing wealthy real estate, right? Black homeowners. Where? In Bed-Stuy, nigga. You ain't know? Yeah. In Baltimore too. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, niggas have houses in Kentucky. I was there. I seen it. I be thinking niggas live in boxes. I don't know. I have no idea. I think everybody lives in a fucking box. The way that they depict niggas. And I've been watching them DVDs from when I was young, and they would have them hood DVDs. So I'm thinking everywhere is a fucking hood that look like Magnolia. Start going to these cities to do lectures and whatnot. I'm like, take me to the hood. I'm looking up. I'm like, take me to the hood. They're like, nigga, you're in the hood. I'm saying, you're lying. Lies, nigga. They're like, nah, this is the hood. I'm like, these niggas like the Huxtables. You know what I'm talking about? I've been to certain places that I could see the prime real estate. I'm in Philly and whatnot, prime real estate. So the influx of controlled substances started with the opium. Go and research the opium war just to see how these people play. Go and research the French Connection, right? They were purposely flooding certain blood types, certain quote unquote haplogroups and whatnot. They realized that there were certain haplogroups. They take your blood the minute your ass is born. They niggas take the fucking fluid out the bottom of your foot. So they know if you're haplo OO. They know if you have that Henrietta Lacks type shit. And then they put trails on niggas. They know bloodlines. They have the genealogy. You don't. So they know who owned the oil. They know who they wrote the treaties against. They got a whole list of you niggas. And they're knocking you niggas off. They're knocking niggas off. Yeah, you a form of eugenics. Yeah, niggas get knocked off. Those same slave pictures that Sodnetta had on the wall. You see, the thing about the slave pictures that QR codes didn't exist back then. But the slave pictures didn't have names and stories to them. They were just the images. So you had to get the DVD in order to kind of get the lesson. So it was shock and awe every fucking day on 25th. Gotta understand the level of trauma that those slave pictures were inducing on people who were walking by them and had to face that shit every day. We're not talking about 3 slave pictures. The brother had literally a row of pictures that stretched about 4 feet. No. 6 feet high. No. 8 feet high. 8 feet high and about 50 feet going the length. Right? Then they would have they had instances where they were bowing down and kissing boots and whatnot. It was a wall of lynchings across the street from the Apollo. You couldn't unsee it. You understand me? Lynchings, right? Not I'm talking about hanging with the neck broken, tongue out type shit. I'm talking about, homie, there's a famous picture of my dude. There's a shot of him, and they have a shot, and you see his back tore up, and he's standing there with his hands tied up. He's about to get lynched. Shit like that. I had to deal with that every day. So there was a rage that gets built up in you, just pulling up. There's a rage that gets turned on, and you actually have to numb yourself. Okay, you have to numb yourself because you don't want that rage to really kick off in case somebody comes through there and they act stupid. Because there was people who had to get their shit adjusted a few times for acting stupid. Because they didn't know how to act in those environments and whatnot. I guess the guilt was getting to them. So a lot of stuff went down out there. But what I do know is that our people have been in bed with the enemy for far too long. And the results of it is beginning to show itself. It's undeniable at this point. It's undeniable. Okay? Let us continue.
In Ita Ishana, accelerating the end through human agency. By fueling the hatred of the masses, they create a vacuum that can only be filled by a supernatural intervention, using the world's anger as the structural support for a new throne.
And the financial sector is already pricing in the climax. On Polymarket, the implied probability of the Second Coming or the Messiah's arrival in 2027 has hit a 4% peak, with over $29 million in volume as traders hedge on a scheduled miracle.
The Jesus trait is just another derivative. If the Great Awakening is a manufactured reveal and the hostility is the catalyst, then the figure emerging from this orchestrated chaos likely isn't a savior, but the manager of a centralized global temple.
They have turned eschatology into a production. When the isolation is absolute, the stage is set for a performance that the masses will mistake for a divine event, but is actually the final consolidation of power.
The realization is that the hate isn't being fought, it's being cultivated. We are providing the energetic currency for a figure who is simply waiting for the world to reach its predetermined breaking point.
Yeah, man. I hope people, even though it's done in a cartoon, this information that's being dropped is very important. Okay, very important. Pay attention to what is taking place, because, like I said, everything is going according to plan. Let us go.
It's not about Iran. It's not about Netanyahu or Greater Israel. This war is not about oil or resources. I'm going to suggest to you that all major religions have teachings on the Armageddon. In Hinduism and Buddhism, this time is called the Kali Yuga and the return of the Maitri, the war of Armageddon and the return of the Mahdi or Messiah. The second coming of the Christ defeating the Dajjal or the Antichrist, or the forces of darkness represented by the Epstein class or the elites. I know you don't believe me, but these elites who control Israel and America, who are pushing for this war, they serve the Antichrist.
So we're not religious, right? Most of us, that is. The majority, I know a lot of us might not identify as zealots of a religion. But there are billions who are, right? And the collective consciousness of those, right, are beginning to look at this, quote unquote, they're framing, right? This conflict is being framed through all three Abrahamic religions by their imams, by their pastors, by their rabbis. They are most definitely framing this as what it is that you noted it is. It's already, the toothpaste is out of the tube. You can't recall a time or an event horizon that this type of conversation probably was being had. I mean, there was a time when I might have heard this conversation had. However, certain things were not in alignment in the way that they are right now. Most importantly, heifers weren't being sacrificed. China and Russia was not necessarily inside, throwing their hat in the ring, which they did today and whatnot. It wasn't Mog and Magog, and you know what I mean? There was always something that was throwing off. This shit is lining up like a jackpot in Vegas, right? The Ayatollah got smoked as a martyr. You know what I mean? He left stage left. He exits the movie as a martyr. The movie starts when the planes line up and smoke him. I think I saw a video when they hit his bunker. Shit crazy. They bombed the smithereens out. They vaporized them, I think. So when they say black people need to get focused and just, I mean, it's but so much of doing the with them girl with them flags at, you know what I mean? Are we gonna do rodeos and trail dances through the whole thing? I just want to know what the itinerary looks like. Are we gonna dance through the whole thing? You know what I'm saying? Is that the plan? Are we gonna shimmy through the whole thing? Or are we going to prepare and do some type of ceremony or ritual, you know what I mean, to empower our hyper fiction? Because that's what it's going to take. We're going to have to bring hyper fiction into reality. We have to create a world that almost seemed impossible to exist. Now the Yorkies, you know what I mean, the Nubians and people that they are doing everything in their power to manifest their hyperfiction by seeing the Nibiru. I remember when that was a big thing. Niggas was like Nibiru'd out. I remember when that was the thing. Planet X, Nibiru, nigga. Yeah, yeah. They were determined to pull that bitch into reality. Okay. They were like, man, that shit is about to pull up. Pops is gonna get off with the afro. We going home. You know what I mean? We up out of here. Like I'm talking about. So I'm a ceremonial type of dude. You know what I mean? I'm a manifester. You know what I'm saying? I'm a generator. So I'm really into generating some shit. And I know that we got the power. Atlanta is Atlantis, right? Atlanta is Atlantis. I know what we do when we form Voltron. I know what I do, just one lion. So I can imagine when all 5 lions get together, the shit will shake. So prepare yourselves because the great gathering is coming very soon. We're going to have another great gathering. The time is definitely amongst us. Daylight savings is tomorrow. We're going to get our time right, money right, mind right, and we're gonna do some things. If I got anything to do with it, if I have any saying in this bitch, something is finna shake in the right way. Cause I could observe but so long. You know? I could observe this shit but so long when we don't start moving pieces on the chessboard. Okay? Because we have the numbers, we got the willpower, we got the determination, and we have the inalienable rights to start moving like, you know what I mean? Like we ready to drag our nuts through this whole bitch, the whole world. You know what I'm talking about? The whole world. Because when one thing is falling, something else is rising. The real ones, my nigga, it don't matter how this shit ends. You're a fucking legend. You know what I'm talking about? And there's somewhere, if not right here, there's places around the world that are going to open up their arms and welcome you like a legend. Ticker tape parade type shit. Stand up. You know what I'm talking about? The world is small, nigga. Stand up. You gonna need receipts, and it's not just gonna be Facebook updates. You can't show nigga what you was out here doing. Oh, let me pull my tweets up. Hold on, let me get my tweets up. Let me hold on. Let me go into my Facebook memories. Hold on. You know? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You know what I'm talking about? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Unfortunately, the newer generation, the TikTok generation, they have heavy heads, and because so much was already done to get them right, to prepare them, so much prophecy has already been prophesied, so much heavy lifting was already done, so many Davids came through and slew them Goliaths, and so many heads already got chopped off. So it's like they're coming to tear this bitch down. They're coming to shake this shit. They coming to shake shit up. What else can they do? The walls already got broken down. That happened during the Sarah Suit and SETI days. That happened during the debate era. That happened. Look, they were having debates and pulling down religions in one night. What are we talking about? Niggas was having debates and they were toppling religions in one debate. We could say what we want to say about the volatility and the niggatry that took place, but the debaters at its heights, the debates at its heights, niggas was pulling whole religions down like Samson was pulling. Imagine being a Bible thumper and you had to sit through shit like that. Imagine being a nigga in one of these groups and whatnot, and you were seeing your whole entire everything that you stood for, your identity was being crushed before your very own eyes. Huh? People could say what they want to say, but the force of the Sarah suit and Seti has to be studied, bro. When he came, the force that this nigga came with, when he came through his debut, is not talked enough about. You know, his debut, the way that he shook this whole community up when he hit, it's not talked about enough. Enough people, a lot of people don't even know because they wasn't there. They don't know the timeline. They don't know the proper history. So, you know, it is indicative that those that were there tell the truth and tell it unbiasedly. Because I could be very biased and just hide his name and not say anything. But the force that this nigga brought, it hasn't been matched. He shook the pillars of the entire fucking community globally. You know what I'm talking about? The energy was unmatched. He was the epitome of a disruptor. He lit a fire that caught the young pharaohs and all of them on fire. It caught a lot of the fire starters, caught fire. He lit my fire. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas had to be on their tippy toes during that era. You know? Heads was rolling. Niggas was getting, you know what they say in the Matrix? If you die in the Matrix, you die in the real world. I seen bodies get dropped. I seen bodies get dropped, and you never seen them niggas after that. They were done. Cause I seen you niggas was literally getting bodied in the Matrix on YouTube, and you'll never see them again. They couldn't even, bodies, it was bodies on the floor, you know? And if you got crushed in a debate the long way, you was getting your ka and your ba was being affected in the real world. I seen niggas walking around looking like shells, my nigga. Yeah, they even had coffins at the debate. So religions were being crushed. Legends, like niggas who had legendary status, was being crushed in like in 2 hour times. And the numbers of people, the amount of people that were watching it, it was like 50,000, 40,000, 70,000, 100,000, 200,000. You feel me? He was the first one that did 1 million on YouTube, 1 million on one video. I seen it. I seen that shit. You know? Yep, I was with my son the first time I met him on 25th. I had a mirror in a carriage, and I heard he was on 25th, and there was a little bit of smoke. So I pulled up, had my son with me because I needed to see him face to face, because in this era, everybody was in New York. There wasn't people on the outskirts. He came through he's from Detroit. So we had to witness him through the internet at first. We didn't know him yet. Nobody met him yet. Okay, President Gustavo Petro spoke hard about black saviors in America. So check this out. Look at this. This is at Jesse Jackson's funeral. This is the president of Colombia, ladies and gentlemen. This is the president of Colombia. Okay? This is the president of Colombia. I just came back from Colombia, and I was letting people know about the power of Colombia, what I felt, the ancestral power that shook me to the core. Okay? Not only did it shake me to the core, but something woke up in me in those rainforests or the foothills of the Andes that actually intersect with the rainforests in the jungles. The tribe that I was with are hundreds of thousands of years old. I'm learning more about this tribe, right? This tribe that I was doing the medicine with. These are these are big dogs out there. So it just so happens, yes, Colombia is Africa. Colombia is Al-Andalus. I saw a lecture on 363 with Asir on the way to South America, and he was like, Latin America is Al-Andalus. I already knew that, but just that show right there It prepared me. It literally unlocked some shit. And when I went out there, I'm looking at everything through a different lens, and I saw everything that I wanted to see, that I needed to see, just to find out that the president is rocking with us. Now, everybody not rocking with us out there. I'm not saying that they're not rocking with us, but I'm saying that when I say our, I'm talking about a rare type of a rare breed of who we are. They might be used to niggas, but there's a rare breed of us that when we go places, we make impact the minute we touch the soil because we're different, right? And we might be that missing piece that needed to go back to some of these places. So no, I'm not showing the screen. I literally read, let me just pull it up. Because I want to see this shit. Right? I want to see this shit. Okay? Because that is very important. If he said what he said and his stance is what it is, you feel me? I hope that's what I'm saying. What my spirit told me is that the people in Colombia, in Latin America, but certain countries especially, we just have to go and teach. We got to teach. We can't judge them as to the ignorance that they may have, because even the melanated people are learning about themselves every other day. We're learning about ourselves every other day. This is a brand new movement. This is a brand new revival. We're going through a very interesting time. You know, I would love to see a group of Moors invited, right? Because once again, if the president of Colombia is feeling like this about us, and and we get invited, because once again, you got to be careful in them Latin American countries, because you say the wrong thing in the wrong places because of their history. You know, they knock people off for being certain type of revolutionaries, but it's the gringos. It's not necessarily, it's the gringos that be sicking people on them the same way like in Africa, they've knocked off some of the leaders at the behest of like the British and the French and whatnot, because they do what? Fear the Blackamoor Messiah. So some of these Jesuit-led countries and whatnot, when you go there, if you go with that Moorish energy and you throw the Moorish shit around, you have to be mindful of that. You could get your shit rocked. You could get, you know what I mean? You know how they pull niggas over late at night and disappear niggas?
I conclude my remarks.
You got to be careful about that.
It's not about Iran. It's not about.
You got to be mindful of stuff like that. Not to say that that's what's happening, but, you know, Spirit warned me, like, be careful out here.
I conclude my remarks. Oh,
it was like, be careful, be mindful of where you're at, right? But it also said, if you're able to come back and teach the people about their rich history, if you're able to show and prove the rich history, then you are going to, you're going to unlock some shit. You're gonna unlock those. They got mountains. Them mountains got gold in them. Them, not to even say it like that, but you're gonna unlock some stuff. The Amazon jungles, which are on the outskirts of these countries, which is why Operation Spear. That's why they're in Ecuador, and that's why they're trying to take over the Amazon. Think about Wakanda. Think about when they said the Aztecs disappeared and all of these people, they didn't disappear. They're in the Amazon. All of they retreated into the Amazon. Think like how the Maroons retreated into the mountains. You have ancient civilizations that disappeared. Everybody did not get killed. Everybody did not get knocked off. They at the top of those mountains, and they're in that Amazon that's impenetrable. You understand? So the unlocking, right? They just had a tribe that made contact. A tribe just came out of the Amazon. I was watching a video and they made contact and whatnot. The tribes are even coming out and they're like, yo, we heard about this conscious. They feel the frequency. They're trying to tap in. Things are shifting. Understand what I tell you. You're going to see some shit that you've never seen before. Things are beginning to shift. You know what I'm saying? The Amazon is the living world. I got close to the living world, and I'm here to let you know, nigga, I've never felt more alive in my life. And I was not in, I was not deep in that bitch. But I felt the energy. I felt it. It is the most, it is almost like connecting to Wi-Fi. I was just in the rain. I was at the foothills. You know what I'm talking about? With no Wi-Fi. Feeling powerful. And I'm on an ayahuasca around mad conquistadors. But I'm good. Because when you stand on the truth, it don't give a fuck who you're around. That's why they say, man, know thyself. When you know who you are, you summon your ancestors. When you stand on certain truths, when you know what the fuck is going on, you will manifest it. You will summon it. So everybody was learning lessons during those 10 days. Spiritually, that is. You know what I'm talking about? I was dancing with the devil in the pale moonlights. You know what I mean? I could have got folded out there spiritually. Because there's a V energy out there that does not want the truth to come out. I promise you. The reason why the Caribbean is being suppressed like that, the reason why the Caribbean is being held down like that, the reason why the Latin America is underneath the church's boot is the only reason is because they're suppressing the history. They are hiding it. That's why the floods came to surface that shit. That's why them floods came, and now the fire is coming. Fire by purification. So when I see the president of Colombia, the president of Ecuador, the president of Bolivia, they're acknowledging, okay? They are giving up the quote unquote host. And when Brazil rises up, when all of those Africans in Brazil rise up, my nigga, game over. Give us our shit back. We need our estate back. We need the Caribbean and we need Latin America. So all of this, that Trump trying to take, that shit is not gonna happen.
And with that, I conclude my remarks. Hoy es el momento, decía. This is the time. De que el presidente de Estados Unidos, mirando el retrato de Lincoln, él y yo personalmente. The president of the United States and I together were looking at the portrait of Lincoln. Ante un bonito jardín de rosas que él diseñó. In the face of the rose garden that he's redesigned. Yo soy como Jackson en esto de la palabra. And I know I've run out of time. Pueda separarse completamente. Can be completely separated. De quien lo lleva a él y a la humanidad a un abismo. From that which is taking him and humankind to an abyss. Separarse de Netanyahu es necesario. He must move away from Netanyahu. Separarse de quien lanza misiles contra niños y niñas en el planeta Tierra. And from those who launch missiles against the planet Earth. Separarse de los misiles y hablar de un pacto por la vida. And to move away from missiles and speak of a pact for life. Por la paz. Yeah, y unirnos alrededor de Jay-Z para hacer.
See, he thinks he might be under the impression that he's standing in. This is the president of Colombia. For people asking who is that, that's Petro. That's the president of Colombia, very powerful man who Trump has in his crosshairs. Trump trying to knock him off. He wants to take Colombia like he took Maduro out of Venezuela, right? But homie is fucking with the Moorish energy, but he's in the Jesse Jackson funeral trying to virtual signal to people who are probably not really about that life. He's amongst Boule probably. Not really, he don't understand the nuances.
Realidad, un arco iris de la humanidad. Gracias, muy amable. Hoy es el momento, decía, this is the time, de que el presidente de Estados Unidos, mirando el retrato de Lincoln, él y yo personalmente, the President of the United States and I together were looking at the portrait of Lincoln, ante un bonito jardín de rosas que él diseñó, in the face of the rose garden that he's redesigned. Yo soy como Jackson en esto de la palabra, and I know I've run out of time, pueda separarse completamente, can be completely separated, de quien lo lleva a él y a la humanidad a un abismo. From planeta Tierra. And from those who launch missiles against separarse de los misiles y hablar de un pacto por la vida. And to
So Cartagena, right? Not Bogota.
Remember, I was in Bogota and I was like, where's the people, where's the black people at? They're in Cartagena, right? So Cartagena, outside of Brazil, has the second biggest population of us in Latin America. Cartagena. In Colombia has the second biggest, quote unquote, melanated population in Latin America. I would never have known that from what I saw. I would have lost that at Jeopardy. I would have lost that. I would have been like, no, I would have been canceled because I did not know that. But when I tell you that Colombia is gorgeous, it is an understatement. That place is magnificently, breathtakingly beautiful, y'all. And I ain't just talking, I'm talking about the energy, the frequent, everything. The only thing is that, once again, I don't want to see melanated people down bad or in a place where, when I know that they're supposed to be in a higher position, because in those places you have lower class and you got rich. You don't have the in between. You got the hood, you got the trenches, you got what they call the trenches, and then you got people that are uber wealthy. No in betweens. You know, and that's gonna change. You know, our people is coming up. We're gonna see more of that over the decades. Our people are going to come the F up. And the story about how they whitened Latin America deliberately, and all of those people in Latin America, right? And why they would, how they got that. We need to shame that the history is so shameful. It's so, it needs to be exposed. It gotta be exposed. You know? Let me see.
Let's talk about the inconveniences of being with a masculine.
Let me see. We got some information.
To understand where we are today. Stewie, the current
Let me see.
Do you know that roughly 10% of Colombians carry hidden...
Here we go.
Roughly 10% of Colombians carry hidden Jewish DNA. Hundreds of years ago, Jewish people fled Spain because they were hunted by the government of Spain for their religion. To stay safe, they hid deep in the isolated mountains of Colombia. The people there became known as paisas, which comes from the word paisano, meaning countrymen. Over time, their religion faded, but their daily habits stayed. Take the traditional breakfast, calentado. It is made of leftover beans heated up from the day before. Historians believe this was a trick to avoid cooking during the Jewish Day of the Rest, which runs from Friday sundown to Saturday night. Then look at the traditional paisa poncho, strikingly similar to Jewish prayer shawl. Because of this history, Spain passed a law offering passports to the descendants of the people they originally forced out. Did you know about this history? Are you Colombian? Am I missing anything? Let me know.
Yeah. So, and people is there. Like I said, I didn't know, but I saw it when I went there, the influence of the small hats and whatnot. However, you know, our influence, who, you know what I'm saying, that needs to be highlighted, and it was felt, you know what I'm saying, but it's going to be felt even more. So yeah, let's move on.
رمضان دخل يا ولاد. رمضان رمضان دخل المطار ده ينعم تحرك 200 المطار. يا رب الله
يا الله
Right now, they do not want you to see what it is that's going on, right? And smell Aviv, okay? They're getting their asses handed to them, right? And they are trying to commit all type of quote unquote shock and awe over in Tehran, right? So, you know, it's getting real messy. Once again, for the brothers and sisters out there that do the day trading, I want to hear from y'all. I want to know what's going on. Are y'all able to you know, I don't want you to be a war profiteer, but you know, what's business looking like? You know, what's it looking like? Because these markets is getting messed up. A lot of people's Ramadan, you know what I mean? The Ramadan is dawning for them because they never seen nothing like this before. Al Jazeera, but like I said, you can't even show this in American media. They literally locking people up for showing anything that's going on over there. You feel me? Like they do not want that truth to get out. They are hiding that shit by any means necessary. Right? However, they are returning. They you know, on the American side, they are turning up on them and whatnot. Check this out. You know, they're trying to they're getting hit so hard that they are turning up their quote unquote civilian casualties on the Iranian side. You know how they do. How they So they started hitting their oil depots, right? They hit the oil depots and they got fire spilling into they sending fuel spilling into the school. Lockheed Martin is up. Oh yeah, they're gonna be up. I know Palantir is up too. The market has been moving just the opposite. The crypto market is bouncing slowly, but you wouldn't think it should be going down. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I see Biddy is trying to climb back up. I seen the Biddy trying to climb back up. But let's go.
Oh man, things are pretty crazy. I know, the world is a total dystopia being run by literal demons. Yeah, I know, it's awful. Anyways, I've been watching this new show that I am totally obsessed with. You have to check it out. Wait, what? The new show I've been watching. I can't remember what it's on. No, I mean, what about what we were talking about before? About how messed up everything is? Oh, yeah, I mean, it's terrible, but what am I gonna do about it? You see, your friend has the right mentality. What are you gonna do about it, you know? Well, I mean, what if we don't pay our taxes? Nah, can't do that. We will throw you in jail. You'll throw us in jail. Yeah, I know. Ironic, right? Come on, man. Listen to what he's saying. We should form a revolution or something. What time would you want to do that? Because I work from 9 to 6, then I have to run errands, then I go to the gym, and by the time I get home, it's around 11 o'clock, which is usually when I go to bed to wake up and do it all over again. Yeah, doesn't seem like he'll have time for a revolution, which means everything's going according to plan. To plan? Well, yeah, that's why we make you guys do all those things. You know, work a job, pay bills, pay taxes. It's all designed to keep you distracted enough so you don't all rise up against us and destroy us. And with what little time you have left at the end of your day to think about how badly the system is rigged against you, well, that's what entertainment and your phone is for. Oh my God, Are you hearing this? Sorry, were you saying something?
Oh, he was just saying how excited he was to watch that new show that you mentioned earlier.
Oh, dude, you have to check it out. It's so good. It has that actor in it that you like. Wait, actually? That's crazy. I love them. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out then. When I'm done with work, of course.
That's right. And the show goes on.
Ain't that right?
It's home what you're saying about that Israel is our leader and we're following them, and our government has been taken over by Zionists.
We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces, and we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed.
So you want to respond to that a little?
He's openly admitting it. When you look at the photo of the Situation Room and you see Trump is with the A team in Mar-a-Lago when they just decided to go in and bomb. B team is actually in the Oval Office or in the White House Situation Room. And the B team is J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, that crew that's more likely to be dissenters. They're just there for like window dressing. The A team is in control. Who's the A team? First of all, Susie Wiles, Chief of Staff, controls who's in the room and everything Trump sees and hears. She is the most dangerous person in Washington. She worked for Benjamin Netanyahu. Trump's Chief of Staff was hired by Benjamin Netanyahu to help assist his 2020 re-election campaign. So she's a paid vehicle for Israeli influence. Then Marco Rubio's in there, of course. His whole career has been paid for by two figures, pretty much. The Adelson family and Paul Singer, who's also one of Trump's top donors. Paul Singer's like Marco Rubio's pimp. And this guy donates to politics on behalf of Israel. And then you have John Ratcliffe, who, as I reported last year, is being called by junior staffers the Mossad stenographer, because he hosts his counterpart, Mossad Director David Barnea, constantly. And Barnea tells him what to tell the president. The AIPAC new CEO, in leaked comments that I exposed at the Gray Zone, the new CEO of AIPAC said, we've been working with Marco Rubio and John Ratcliffe and Mike Waltz, who's now the UN ambassador for the US. We've been working with them for so long because they were in Congress. And when they all started running for Congress, we recruited them and we made sure that we supported them for their entire congressional career so that when they went into the Trump administration, we had clear lines of communication with all of the national security principles.
Well, I was talking about the people who will get appointed to some of these jobs. Look at the top level, we talk about Marco Rubio and Lisa Michael Waltz. Those three people have something in common. They all serve in Congress. They all have relationships with key AIPAC leaders in their communities.
So that's Israel's unregistered foreign lobby, the CEO, saying they basically have these guys like puppets on a string.
The Stablecoin Act passed yesterday. They're starting to commence the largest wealth transfer in history. All right, that's what's up. The teachers, the crypto teachers need to teach. Get out there and get that word out.
We have some very serious news. This is what Tehran looks like tonight. Absolutely apocalyptic scenes out of Tehran. Why does it look like this? Well, the United States and Israel over the past many hours have been bombing, really, oil refineries across Iran, and northern Iran along with Tehran. Now, Tehran is a city with millions and millions of people. And there are many questions tonight why the United States and Israel are going after the oil depots across Iran, especially as oil prices surge across the world and gas prices as a result surge in the United States of America. The images and videos we're seeing coming out of Tehran and northern Iran, where there are videos of oil spillage on the roads that are literally on fire now. These images are very horrific, to say the least, and I mean, they're only about to get worse because the bombing of Iran is only going to continue. I'll have more updates for you very soon. As always, spread the word and follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about.
Yes, I saw that Condoleezza Rice was in the mother effing White House. What the fuck? Condoleezza Rice happens to be born on November 14th, right? We should be on our magic. Fuck these fools. Who's promoting anything? And if you're on your magic, then you should never even have to say it. Just means that you're not on your magic. So anybody that says we need to be on a magic, how do you know who's on a magic or not? The fact that you're saying that just means that you're waiting for somebody to be on their magic so you could be on their magic. But your ass supposed to been on your motherfucking magic when you woke up. What are you talking about? Like, relax, bro. Anyway, let me finish this. Let me continue to put some videos back up. Man.
Entire Canadian airspace to U.S. aircrafts. Air Transit is an airline in Canada. They suspended all of their flights to the U.S. WestJet is another airline in Canada, were removed in one day. Canadians will go to Florida during the winter. They're either going to go to Orlando or they're going to go to Fort Lauderdale. This white lady saying,
I don't buy anything American. I don't go to the States anymore.
And a lot of Canadians felt like that. Automatically reassigned that travel to Mexico. Prime Minister Carney said, I'll see your routes and I will close the entire Canadian airspace to U.S. aircrafts. For 70 years, the U.S. has used Canada airspace without asking. Prime Minister Carney said they revised their overflight fee structure and restricted access to the polar routes for nations currently engaged in hostile trade actions. Translation: American planes can't use the shortcut anymore. This is your Amazon packages. This is your stock portfolio plummeting. That shortcut, now they have to go all the way around. And now that's going to double the fuel cost. And they just closed the Strait of Hormuz. That is another.
All this white people jargon is a distraction from us taking over like we should have done years ago. All right. Just tell me how you taking over real quick. And please don't make it sound crazy because we are on YouTube of all places. We're in a public square. See, people that type stuff like that, I hope you're not a bot from Botswana, but what are you talking about? I got time today. What's this? It's a distraction from us taking over. Who's us? And what are you taking over exactly? Because you should be in my AI class because you're you seem to have a good imagination. I'm interested in your mind right now. Do you have a script that goes with this? Are there characters already? You have an avatar. Do you want to meet me at Nano Banano so we could draft this out? Because I want to know what your comic book is looking like. You seem to have the story all figured out. I want to know what them panels look like. What does your storyboard look like? We might have an epic on our hands. You know what I'm talking about? What do you want to title it? Us taking over? What's it gonna be called? Black Panther 4? What we doing? I think we're taking over by taking them down and just highlighting the fact that they asses are falling on their own swords and whatnot, jumping off of cliffs. But I really want to know, like break it down, my brother. You got the floor. You know what I'm talking about? You got the floor. I need you to roll this idea out about us taking over. We was kings. I want to know how us takes over. You know what I mean? And what does talking about white folk, how is that stopping us from taking over? Like, what part of us talking about these white folks falling off is stopping us from taking over, my guy? You know? And I'm not being facetious. I'm very curious. You know? And don't blame the Tourette's. You know what I'm talking about? Don't blame the Tourette's because you said it. We using the wrong weapons to fight. All we need to use is our mind and attention, and they're done. Right. Like I said, get me the storyboard, my guy. Let's animate that shit that you talking. You know, let's animate what you talking about. Use your mind. We're using the wrong weapons to fight. Who is we and what weapons are we using? I want to know, what weapons are we using wrong? Who are we and what weapons are we using wrong to fight? And then as a result of those wrong weapons to use, I want you to explain how the mind is not being used and how the attention is not being used to take these people down, to expose them, to defame them, to demystify them, and also to report on their fall. Yeah, riddle me, my brother. We're watching the end of the puppet show. All right. Shout out to this sister right here. I know this sister and she's passionate, you know what I'm talking about her people. And she's been making content, waking up and whatnot. So salute to her and all of the sisters that are stepping out and doing their thing and sharing their information and making their content and speaking their minds.
Now they have to go all the way around, and now that's going to double the fuel cost, and they just closed the Strait of Hormuz. This is jet fuel, catering services, ground crew, pilots, flight attendants, baggage handlers, pharmaceuticals, fresh produce, and auto parts. This creates a bottleneck in all of these industries. This is a precise strike on the U.S. service economy. They're estimating that we are losing $4 billion per week. U.S. Travel Association is calling it an unprecedented act of economic aggression. There's planes sitting on the runway in Anchorage, Alaska. Ask me why. Because pilots and flight attendants have to take a break. This is like safety issues. So like UPS and FedEx lose their slot in Toronto because of fuel costs. They will never get them back. Europe and Asia are swoop in to take their spot. This hurts the U.S. economy on every single level. Corporate profits, labor stability, supply chain, and currency strength. This is no one died, no one went to war. This just set a precedent that China and Europe are watching closely. And maybe we should renegotiate our skies. Higher prices and fewer choices. That's what you have to look forward to, U.S.
So yeah, she's giving you informed, quote unquote, for anybody that's dealing with the market. She's giving you information that you literally could utilize in your investments, right? On where to go long and where to go short. You know.
I told you that the U.S. military actions in Venezuela last month.
Let us continue.
I told you that the U.S. military actions in Venezuela last month and Iran over the weekend aren't really about removing dictators or stopping nuclear weapons, but something even bigger. The system that helps support $38 trillion of U.S. debt, the petrodollar. Stick with me. Over the weekend, Donald Trump ordered airstrikes inside Iran that reportedly...
Why is this loudmouth cheering on our demise? Are you referring to the lady who's giving the news? Who the fuck is our, and what does her giving the facts about what's going on? How is that bothering you? What is she supposed to say, and how is she supposed to say it to make you feel comfortable, my nigga? Explain that. Talking about why is this loud? Yeah, there's when I put melanated people, women on this channel, bro, I be paying attention. Like, people really be showing how much they despise our women, bro. That's sad. I don't like that for y'all. You know what I mean? But even with Chocolate Godiva, the shit that they were saying, it was like, damn, bro, it's almost like on some Doechii shit. Like, you know what I mean? If she was a cave Becky, y'all probably wouldn't say that. Like, She's supposed to say it some type of way. I don't understand. Like she's not supposed to. She's supposed to be. I don't want to. I'm not gonna play no video of nobody getting up here, getting on some fake ass American hero shit. That's not what we do over here. We're not cheering on the empire. The hell.
A brief, incomplete, truncated, slightly useless history of Iran.
Brief, incomplete, truncated, slightly.
Oh, we're not finished with this. Let us continue.
Several senior figures in the country's military leadership. Most of the What if I told you that the U.S. military actions in Venezuela last month and Iran over the weekend aren't really about removing dictators or stopping nuclear weapons, but something even bigger? The system that helps support $38 trillion of U.S. debt, the petrodollar. Stick with me. Over the weekend, Donald Trump ordered airstrikes inside Iran that reportedly killed several senior figures in the country's military leadership. Most of the coverage is focused on the political fallout inside Iran, but the bigger impact may actually be in the oil market. Because Iran isn't just a geopolitical rival, it's one of the world's major oil exporters. Before the strike, Iran was exporting roughly 1.5 to 2 million barrels of oil per day, and about 90% of that was going to China. And here's the key detail. Much of that oil wasn't being settled through the traditional Western financial system. Iran has been cut off from SWIFT, the global banking network used for most cross-border payments. So many of those transactions happen through alternative systems or non-dollar currencies. Now, here's where it gets interesting. For decades, the global oil market has largely revolved around something called the petrodollar system. Since the 1970s, most oil around the world has been priced and traded in US dollars. That forces countries that want to buy oil to first obtain dollars. And that demand matters. Oil exporting countries accumulate those dollars and often recycle them back into US assets like treasury bonds. Now that process, known as petrodollar recycling, has helped finance US government borrowing. In other words,
that's how I feel when y'all talking about Jasmine Crockett. Listen, y'all getting everything mixed up. I don't have no sympathy. I don't got no compassion. I don't give a fuck. If you a sellout and a coon and you dancing with the enemies, then you're gonna get cooked on this channel. I don't give a fuck what length your wig is. What are you talking about? We need to do a refreshing as to what this fucking channel is, because I don't know what y'all think this is over here. Like, no, Jasmine Crockett gets cooked. Jasmine Crockett gets cooked over here. I don't even know who that woman is like that. But what I do know is that she's a shill for Is It Real? There's nothing to talk about with that. Like, I've spent so much time separating myself from anything that has anything related to them people that for y'all to even say something like that is crazy.
when oil is priced in dollars, it creates global demand for dollars. And global demand for dollars helps absorb US debt. Now, let's look at the geopolitical angle. Two of the largest oil exporters operating outside the dollar system have been Venezuela and Iran. If Venezuela ends up with a new government aligned with the West, and if Iran eventually transitions to new leadership, those oil exports could move back into the dollar system. That means oil sold in dollars, payments moving through SWIFT, and billions more flowing into dollar-denominated assets. At a time when the US government is running trillion-dollar annual deficits, that demand becomes incredibly valuable. So the real question might be not whether this is about nuclear weapons or authoritarian dictators. It might just be about the currency that underpins the global financial system.
Yep. Financial news. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely going to bring somebody on the show that could assist anybody that is, that could speak a good financial. I want to hear the angle of this from a financial investor. I want to hear the angle of this whole situation from a day trader. We need those conversations. We need to understand what the market is doing and whatnot. We also need some projections, right? Because this show is about informing along with decoding and doing other things, but a little bit of information won't hurt nobody. So, whenever there's time to pull a trigger and get some shit, and one thing that you could never say, we've never been fear mongers on here. Oh, hurry up and run and get your cans, run and get your water and all that. The most turned up, the most DEFCON 3 that it probably went was in March of 2020. And I popped up with a bunch of Goya cans and whatnot. And I was like, man, I'm making sure that I'm locking, you know what I mean? Nigga buy $5 worth of Goya cans and you're preparing for the famine. I thought I had my bug out. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm locked in. I got the Goya cans. This was around the time when it was locking everything down for C-19. Okay. Nigga had some jugs of water, and that was about it. Other than that, I don't get up here on some on the boy that cry wolf chicken little type shit. That's not my MO. There's other people that do a good job doing that, but that's not the MO. Okay. But I really want the people who know what to do with their bread to get more of it. And I really want the people who can move around, the digital nomads, to move around. This is not the time to just be chilling. This is not the time to just be sitting around waiting to see what's going to happen. I told people before, if you could get around, if you could get out the states and go somewhere where you're out the way, or if you could get out the states, get out from where that border, where that wall might be holding niggas inside of it, and you could go out of the way, go now. The fuck? Take that move, make that move. If you could go on a continent somewhere and duck off, I'm saying to do that. If you could go somewhere on the islands where you might not have to be passported up, visaed up, do it. I will not be laying around in the metro cities, right, with tall buildings and all of that energy grids and stuff. I ain't doing none of that. Don't say too late. Nigga, it's not too late. Nigga, get up right now and bounce. We talking about too late. They got the real ID and all of that other shit. I'm letting you know, in a minute, your ass ain't gonna be able to move around. So if you want to move around, the only thing that I would tell people right now, not moving around in fear, once again, go and get you a crib that's not 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 a month. Go grab something that you could grab for, if you're gonna buy something, buy it. But if you're gonna rent something light. A vacation home, a place to go where you could just turn off your devices and get away, get off the grid and tap in. That is important right now. The closer to nature that you get is the safer that you will be right now. Don't take my word for it. Just pay attention. Right? So yeah, Thailand, $380 for the 3-bedroom. That's the flex. The flex is not, quote unquote, paying $3,000 a 30. Look at this nigga in his feelings. I've been listening since Blog Talk days. This has been the worst show ever. Are you crying in the Audi, my nigga, or the Honda Civic? Or are you on the bus? You know what I mean? Because you sounding real crazy right now. Somebody said, you scared to leave New York City? I thought niggas was scared to live in New York City. What are you talking about? You sound like my dad. My dad's scared to leave New York. He do not want to leave the city, bro. It's just some people that's locked in for life. And I get it. You know what I mean? I'm a city slicker myself. But coming from where I came from, I was in Puerto Rico, which is not off the grid. I was in the hood in Puerto Rico, but the shit I felt like I was at home. I felt good. And then I went to Bogota and I felt better. And then I went into the rainforest and I felt even better. So what is that showing me? The closest we get, I can't look. My DNA is my DNA, and I damn sure I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm not one of those people that when I'm telling you my experiences, I'm expecting everybody to have the same thing or have the same mind state. I'm biased because of my epigenetics and my DNA. My shit get activated when I go places. You know what I'm saying? It might not be like that. So don't follow me thinking that that's going to be the same thing, or don't take my word and be like, yeah, Red said it. Well, Red experienced it. I'm giving advice on how people could position themselves on this chessboard, because it's obvious that the chessboard is the game is being whatever this game that's being played on this chessboard. This is a different type of game right now. We've seen this before, but this game is going to change the board. After the same way that in October 7th, when I saw this shit happen, I said, oh yeah, nothing is going to be the same over there anymore. This is the last day of normality. Everything is going to shift. That's kind of the same signal that I'm getting, that yeah, after February the 28th, that normal will never return to that again. And that's not a good or a bad thing. But whatever that world was on February the 27th, okay, before the planets were in alignment, all of those planets lined up, and whatever that door that opened up, the world will never be the same after that day. It's not going to go back to what it was February the 27th. That is a fact. Okay, that is a fact. So I will say that the time for people to move around is now. You damn right. You damn right. Yeah, take advantage of International Women's Day. Lovable is free for the next 24 hours. They joining up with Anthropic. Let's do a hackathon tomorrow. What's up? Let's do a hackathon. Anthropic is free. Let's do an emergency hackathon. So am I saying that the war is just the start? I'm saying that the war is a continuum of something that has been going on for multiple blood moons. Blue Pill laid it out expertly. There's something been going on. Something been going on. Everything is sort of tied in and whatnot. Everything, that this is a continuum. The news won't report it like that. These woke niggas won't report it like that. The podcasters won't report it like that. You feel me? The financial people, the financial platforms, the Breakfast Club, they're not going to report it like, so you're not going to see it like that, because nobody is giving you that narrative. But when you come over here, especially when you watch the lectures, you tap in with the lectures, when you tap into the information that's not on YouTube, because YouTube, you damn right, I'm gonna sit here and talk shit and play videos all day. This is YouTube, nigga. This is YouTube 2.0, matter of fact. This is not even YouTube of before. So yeah, we're going to give you, right, we're going to teach like how we're going to take the role of new media and give you the information. And no, I'm not going to be on YouTube being being a rebel rouser and putting myself on fucking hit lists and everything. You out of your goddamn mind. And I'm gonna drop the information that's already been vetted. I'm going to drop the information that has been vetted and point people into a situation on multiple levels: the food, the art, the clothes, the technology, the shelter. I am not a one-trick pony. You know what I'm talking about? I don't juggle one ball. Pause. I don't juggle one ball. So for the people who are inspired, okay, to start doing a little bit of movements, and for the people who, because there's people out there that are that USA is not losing this war. There's people out there that are sitting on the resources. They're trying to figure out what to do, where to go, how to live their life. There's certain people that have sold all of their belongings and they're living on the road and they're living off the grid and they're country hopping with their loved ones, right? There's people who have decided, I don't even pay attention to what's going on with these crazy bald heads, because I know that they crazy bald heads. I'm living my life. I'm livicating my life to move around the grid and just live off of experience locks. It's certain people that's day trading, selling stocks, selling crypto, and literally having the experience heaven on earth type shit. You know, I'm into that type of life. I'm promoting that lifestyle. To me, that's growth and development. That's really living it for living it. And people are like, what if they do this? What if they do that? What if they da 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 da? What if they bomb this? What if they bomb that? Nigga, hopefully while I'm asleep. The fuck? I don't care. We all got a date anyway. I don't care. I'll never live in that type of fear. I'll never live in that type of fear. Because you know why? Because we got relatives that lived through World War One, World War II, Vietnam, Civil War. They was being faced with Armageddon their whole goddamn existence. Jim Crow. All of them bodies swinging strange fruit. They had to listen to Billie Holiday sing about the bodies that was swinging from the trees like strange fruit. So that what the fuck? I can't be scary. I can't live a scary existence. False expectations appearing real. All we got to do is decode this shit and break it down. What you pay attention, collapse the wave, my niggas. Collapse the wave, my niggas. Ain't nothing finna happen. The only thing that's gonna happen is what you allow to happen. That's why these shows are so important. The only thing that's gonna happen is what you allow to happen. I don't let nobody leave these motherfucking shows and whatnot with no feelings of defeat and no feelings where they have to try to figure this shit out. Whatever needs to be figured out is getting figured out on the stage. We don't leave confused. We know what the hell this shit is, and we know what it's not. And we bring the receipts. It's not just, we're not just bumping our gums to whereas you just gotta believe in niggas to believe what we saying. Nah, the receipts is there. And it's certain receipts that it's like, God damn, how the fuck did y'all pull that out the universe? But I stand on the shoulders of the master teachers. I've been prepared and groomed by master intellects. Robert Hemmett, nigga. Otherwise known as Bobby Hemmett. Philip Valentine L, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Taj Tariq Bey, Hakeem Bey, Mr. Delbert, Dr. Delbert Blair, Dr. Africa. Huh? They lined this shit up. Dr. Sabi, nigga, they already told us what's gonna happen. They laid it out. You gotta pay attention. Do you just listen to the shit or do you skim through it? You know what I mean? I was paying attention, nigga. I was taking notes. So we know how to shake this shit up. We know how to use our brains. We know how to use our minds. We know how to use our imaginations. We know how to use the culture, right? To spirit cook these niggas. We understand how to do it. We're just trying to, we're identifying others that know how to do it. That's what we do. Oh shit, son is cooking too. Come on, come in the kitchen. Come on. You know, cook. Let's cook together. Shout out to Crumb TV. We did the DARPA part 1 yesterday on the platform. Make sure y'all check that out. DARPA Decoded. Y'all got to know about DARPA. You got to know about DARPA. You know what I'm talking about? You got to know about the DARPAs. So let us go.
Incomplete, truncated, slightly useless history of Iran. Did you ever go to war with a country against your will and wonder, who exactly are we bombing? Iran is one of the oldest civilizations on Earth. Founded in 550 BCE by Cyrus the Great, the Persian Empire was gigantic, stretching from India to Greece. The Persians were surprisingly open, tolerant and advanced. And even after they were conquered by Alexander the Great, their core culture survived well into the 7th century. Arab armies converted Iran to Islam, producing some of the greatest poets, doctors, and mathematicians of the medieval world, right up until the 1200s, when the Mongol invasion killed millions. The Mongols who remained adopted Islam and Persian culture soon after. Shia Islam became the official religion as it remains today. But by the early 1900s, their leadership had weakened and they were being controlled by both Britain and Russia, who were exploiting Iran for its resources. In 1921, a strong man named Reza Shah seized power, but he was a bit too cozy with the mustache man and was soon forced into exile, and his son was installed by the Allies. Mohammad Reza ran a brutal police state, supported by America, who used the CIA to remove any rivals, including Mohammad Mossadegh, who was a democratically elected leader. But he had the crazy idea that Iranian oil belonged to the Iranian people, and so we got rid of him, which really is the first major domino in this whole fucking mess. By 1979, the Iranian people were pretty fucking pissed off that we kept fucking around with their nation. A revolution swept out the Shah, and Ayatollah Khomeini turned Iran into an Islamic republic. The republic was pretty fucking awful, and still is. But it was our mucking about that led to its rise. We then backed Saddam Hussein, giving him aid, intelligence, and support for an invasion of Iran. A war that lasted for years. Iran has been in a standoff with the West ever since. Internally, they've been a brutal regime that has killed its own people en masse. And only once, in the last few decades, have we even been close to normalizing relations with the JCPOA, a deal that Trump pulled us out of and led directly to the invasion we're all going to be suffering through. Americans, Iranians, Israelis, and every other person on the planet. None of this ends well for anyone.
Don't get scared. This is not meant to scare you.
There's that clip you were talking about with Marco Rubio, which just kind of hammers home what you're saying.
Okay, let me see something.
We have some very serious news. This is what Tehran looks like tonight.
Okay.
Them boys being outside got you stressed, ain't it? Them boys being outside got you stressed, ain't it? BB, they got you stressed with your egghead ass. Now, internal reports are coming out saying that bitch Netanyahu is stressed, honey. That both has. So the timing in which Iran is literally responding and Hezbollah is responding is out of this world, y'all. And to make matters 6 times worse, I was just in the middle of filming, and tell me why this shit was going, and whoever's on the other side basically stopped it from filming. Like, my finger wasn't nowhere near the button, none of that. So, as you can tell, like, they is upset. I mean, hating big time, making my videos skip all that. But that's okay, because we got something coming down the pipeline. Like, you just going to have to be mad, girl. You going to have to be mad. You just going to have to be mad. Don't nobody give a shit. Anyways, anywho's the timing in which all of this stuff is going down coincides with the finances with BlackRock and Blackstone. So, seeing Iran and Hezbollah bombing the shit out of Haifa port. Oh, baby, they bombed Haifa refinery, the oil refinery. So I know they sick like shit. Internal reports are saying that Benjamin Netanyahu is more than stressed, baby. He pressed. Like, he is quite literally on another level right now. Like, he is shook. They got his jaw on the motherfucking floor. And basically, they having to, like, come up with new strategies, but nothing is working. Like I said, I'll never skip a Hope Core video, but I wanted to show y'all, in retaliation, in return, this is what's happening to Israel. Because, yeah, they may be blowing up vital resources in Iran. They blew up that school with those girls in it. They've been bombing people, but Iran is quite literally doing moving vehicle assassinations. Like, literally just bomb the shit out of a vehicle. Send a drone and bomb the shit out of a vehicle. So I know that got Israel and America shook, because prior to what's going on right now, like, they genuinely thought that they were the only ones that were capable of doing some shit like that. But now they are understanding, like, the capability. They completely underestimated the entire resistance and their capabilities, and they underestimated them, like, insanely. So they are losing in the worst way possible right now. But let's go ahead and roll that beautiful beam for this, because I love me a good Hope Core video. Hell yeah. I guess Domi should clock back in, but then
Hezbollah bombed the shit out of Domisha again, so love me a good Hope Corps video. God damn! No, that's not Gaza. That's Tel Aviv. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, God. Baby, this that lick back. This is hyperboard. Damn. Sheesh. You know that thing ain't coming back. Now see what happens when you fuck around? You find out. You find out that you're not the only one. You never was. You never was. And last but certainly not least, Lebanon bombed the shit out of Haifa again. And as you can see, those missiles touched down. Period, Hezbollah. Period. Period. Kick your ass.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave you out with that. Shout out to Godiva, the chocolate goddess. You know what I'm talking about? The chocolate goddess cooking. But yeah, man. With that being said, we will be back. You know what I'm talking about? We will be back with more information, more reporting. You dig? And yeah, we're gonna keep cooking and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm gonna go to a word from our sponsors. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting the V-Cell CMOS. All right. I'm actually gonna have a show coming up where we're gonna break down some of the science behind the products. We're gonna bring on some representatives, some doctors and whatnot, so we could get into the science of A-game, what exactly it's going to do for both men and women, and also get into the V-Cell CMOS gel. All right, some of the properties behind it, the sciences behind it, speak about men's health, women's health. That is very important right now. The fact that the brother from Wu-Tang goes by the name of Power, Knowledge Born Allah, on the movie Belly, right? He was 52. He made transition. He had pancreatic cancer. And I said, wait a minute, pancreatic cancer, that's crazy. But the man was 52 and he was a part of the Wu-Tang. He wasn't the artist. He wasn't the talent. He was the managerial. So he was touching millions and millions of dollars, right? He should have been. So it's like, how is it that our black men are going out at 52 that are multimillionaires? You're not even enjoying your wealth. That is alarming to me. That's scary to me. You know? So yeah, we could do reports about shit that's going on, because this is the report of my ops. I've been waiting for these days. But anyway, you know, other than that, you know what I'm talking about? Other than that, you know, we want to focus on what is most important is our health and our wellness. Because while I could look at what's going on across seas and whatnot, there's a crisis and there's an epidemic happening right here, and it has to do with our health as men and women. Shit is deteriorating, and everybody got the answers and nobody got the answer at the same time. So it's like, let's bring people on who got the answer for real, and let's talk to the solutions, but let's give the facts about where the shit is at and right. Because there needs to be more Yakis. There needs to be more KTs. I'm kind of upset that the health conversation has died down in the black community, and motherfuckers just going around cherry picking who they want to listen to and whatnot, where there should be 30 to 40 of our people out there every day putting content on the internet. I'm talking about 300 to 400 who know what they're talking about, that is, who are not charlatans, who know what they're talking about, and who bring receipts and they're cohesive. That would definitely be a caveat, because it's a bunch of people on the internet talking, but they're not. They look like they need healing. The fuck they look sick, you know. And there's people up there bumping their gums, and they don't know nothing that they talking. The shit don't is not coherent, doesn't make sense. It don't add up. The math ain't mathing. So yeah, a filter system would fare better. But yeah, we need more people talking. Our niggas got shook over they got whooped out of shape during the C19 shadow bans. They didn't become a shadow boss in the shadow ban, and a lot of people got whooped out of shape. They got banned, they got thrown around, and they didn't fight back. Too many slutty vegans, right? Yeah. They got called sluts. They got beat down so bad that they acquiesced and went and got called a slut for some $40 fries and a burger. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They tucked their tails and went to go get a slutty vegan burger and gave up. So yeah, that conversation has to happen. Let's go to the word from our sponsors.
VCL in my cup, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Flow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. VCL in my cup, I'm feeling right. Sip to the sunrise, dance to the night. From the ocean's kiss to your city lights. 21 flavors, pure health in every bite. Drip so clean, we're custom made. From reef to street, we elevate. Gold green gel, set the record straight. Nature in a bottle, that's a better way. Charge me up, no caffeine crash. Clean energy, steady splash. From skin to gut, yeah, we live from within. Oneness on 10, let the rhythm begin. Pour it up, pour it up. Feel the wave, body thanking me. Every sip, ocean wisdom in this glass. We sell magic, CMOS. They sell in my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. Island breeze in the city maze. We're mineral rich in 1,000 ways. Immunity high like the summer rays. Hydrate the hustle, fuel your days. Berry, mango, ginger, lime. Pick your flow, your flavor, your time. Beauty and balance we redefine. Every little sip, align your shine. Pour it up, feel the way. Body thanking me for every sip. Ocean wisdom in this glass. We sell magic, CMOS. We sell in my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. From the coral choir to the heartbeat drum. Roots run deep where the wild tide hum. Real ones know where the glow comes from. We sell in the mix now, watch us.
Yes, yes. How many people in the building had the opportunity to get some V-Cell CMOS? How many of y'all had the opportunity to get some V-Cell CMOS and taste that and whatnot? All right. Shout out to V-Cell CMOS. Shout out to the whole business, shout out to everybody over there at V-Cell, Dr. Michelle, and everybody over there. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. On Tuesday, if you're in Atlanta, on Tuesday, if you're in the ATL, we have an IRL event. We have an IRL event. All right. We have an IRL event for Techno Tuesdays for everybody who we've been helping out with the technology information. If you have benefited from Techno Tuesdays and that tech talk that we've been given for the whole entire year, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. All right, we have some okay, Pure Fire, right? If you bought the CMOS and it was good and it matched what I told y'all that it was the best tasting CMOS in this quote unquote in the world, can I get some feedback? Can I get some feedback? Okay. Because I'm gonna let the people talk. I ain't gonna be the one to. I already promoted and bigged it up when I first tasted it. I'm like, oh my goodness. But I'm glad that y'all took that that message. I'm glad that y'all took that and ran with it and went and got your sea moss. Aw, we got bots from Botswana. The best I've had, and I make it myself. Oh man, that's saying a lot. You know what I'm talking about? That is saying a lot. So I want to say everybody that went and got some big ups. You feel me? Big ups. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. We're gonna keep bringing these top tier products to the family and whatnot. Look, the flowers are beginning to bud. It looked like the leaves are starting to grow on the trees. So we literally have made it up out of the winter. We made it up out of the dark night of the winter. They said the winter is here, but we on the tail ends of that shit. Daylight savings is mañana. Hear what I'm talking about? Daylight savings is mañana, my G. What we on? What's today? The March the what? The 6th, the 8th. Yeah, just in about a few more weeks, we're gonna be hitting that New Year's. You know, we're gonna be hitting that New Year's. So salute to everybody who made it through the winter. You know what I'm saying? Did your winter hibernation and whatnot, and you getting ready to pop out. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that's getting ready to pop out. The best way to pop out and the best way to be renewed for the new year is to go ahead and get that sea moss. Go ahead and get that what Blue and them got with the honey over there at Farmy and whatnot. Yeah, it's health conscientious time. Blue got the raw honey. You know what I'm talking about? He got the tea and all of that. It's going up. It's going up. So check this out. You and yours, brother Red Pill reporting live and direct. Yes, this is Techno Bowl. All right, I'm here with Spin City. We at Spin City headquarters. Go long for the past. You know what I'm talking about? We are here to celebrate winning that chip. Episode 52. Let them know, Spin.
5 dudes, man. We gotta celebrate. Me and Red doing Techno Tuesdays and bringing AI, robotics, tech, software, hardware to the culture, to the melanated culture here in Northern America. You know what I mean? How else are we ever gonna control the narrative? How else are we gonna, step back into our power? You know what I mean? Peace to the guys, peace to the family. We've been able to make it to 52 episodes going live. We're calling it Techno Bowl. Y'all remember about Techno Bowl? So tons of activities, flow coding activities, robotic activities. Create your own software, your own applications, your own animations. You feel me? It's happening live and direct. We're going over your shoulder, with some real technologies. You feel me? It's going live. We going live. IRL, Super Bowl style, Techno Bowl style, March 10th, 2026, Techno 26.
We're bringing out Prompt Master Flex. You know what I mean? We're bringing the Clawbot out. We're bringing Claude Code, Claude Cowork. We're going crazy with the new apps. We're going to take advantage of the boom that's taking place right now in the AI world. All right? Peace, love, and light. Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Tuesday. Techno Bowl. All right, we got Techno Bowl in the building. Make sure y'all pull up to that if you're in the ATL. If you're not in the ATL, tell a friend to tell a friend. We're gonna be, I believe we'll be broadcasting live stream and whatnot. However, there's a lot that's gonna be done in IRL. So make sure y'all in the building. Shout out to Derek Grace and everybody that was in the building tonight and whatnot. Shout out to Source Guard. His birthday is around the corner. Shout out to Jefferson. All right. Shout out to everybody in the building. All right, we out, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see y'all again. Peace, love, and light.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots all net, all vets. Bones we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down a cherry tree in the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch Storch type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descended of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom.